Man, the SteinCast is back, and it is back, and it's here to stay. Would you say so?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep, I would say so as well. We got our friend Jason Breedlove on again. He was one of our first guests. I think one of our third one. We only shot 5 episodes, but he's back again today, and we're excited to have you, man.
Hey, man, I'm glad you guys called me up, dude.
I think it's going to be great, man. I think this is a perfect way to start it back. We are here at MaxFit Sports and Nutrition, which is our sponsor. We actually got a sponsor for SteinCast, and that's a pretty amazing thing. That's a great first step in the direction of getting a podcast going, and that is something we plan on doing.
You guys deserve it, though.
We want this thing to grow, man. And people,
appreciate it.
We I don't know what it is, but they just like us. I don't know what it is, but
you guys are likable, man.
They think we're funny, so I think we might as well just rock and roll with it. And so Matt at MaxFit, he said, "Hey, y'all can come have the podcast here, and y'all can use the back room." So we're thankful.
Definitely
for that.
Want to give a shout out to Matt and Chase.
Yep.
And also give a shout out. Chase is working on doing another bodybuilding competition, so we're fired up about that. He's about 20,
Really?
I think he said he's about 20 weeks out or something like that.
Have I met him?
I don't know if you met Chase. He's pretty shredded, dude. He's shredded.
Is he?
He's shredded to the gills.
Chase is a bull of a man.
Yeah.
If he's getting ready for a bodybuilding competition,
He's legit, man. He definitely encourages a lot of guys like us.
Yep.
Just normal, everyday people.
Yep. So
it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy doing that.
bodybuilding is very difficult.
It is.
And I've been watching some videos and stuff, and really the most difficult thing, and people say, well, they take performance-enhancing drugs, they take steroids and all that, but dude, the amount of food you have to eat to be a competitive bodybuilder is unreal. There's so much food that you have to eat and consume on a daily basis. You got to eat upwards of 5,000 calories to maintain the muscle and then grow the muscle, especially when you're already 300 pounds.
And you got to have help to be able to convert that into nitrogen and store it. You know what I'm saying? So they got to do what they got to do, and it's pretty much universal. Throughout bodybuilding. So he's not doing anything. They're not doing anything that
it really is.
Yeah, that everybody else isn't doing.
And then the cardiovascular system you have to be able to hold poses. People underestimate that. They say, those guys are big and yoked. They don't really have the cardiovascular system.
Dude.
There have been so many guys in bodybuilding that could not do it because they could not hold the pose. Because you know how hard it is to take.
Especially because they're carb deprived anyway.
Exactly.
To be shredded, right?
Yep.
So they're on stage being carb deprived, which is what you need for energy, right?
Yeah.
And so they're doing these poses. I used to work out with some guys that were competitive bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And they would be exhausted after they got up there and did their routine in front of everybody. They would be exhausted in the back. I'd go see them in the back, and they would be laid out, just carbing up, man, eating donuts or whatever they get their hands on.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what is that? I mean, what is the whole point in a bodybuilder? And you're a scientific guy. You understand how the body works on that. So what is the point in that bodybuilder to completely deplete himself of carbohydrates?
Because carbs cause your body to retain water.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And the less carbs you have, and plus sodium. So they cut back their sodium and their carbs. Some of them carb up right before competition to blow their muscles up.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
But
is that why you have some guys with like a bubble gut?
No.
So what's the cause of the bubble gut?
Usually that's growth hormones and overeating.
Overeating. So they
stretches their abdominal muscles out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched the documentary on Ronnie Coleman. That guy's unbelievable.
Well, they have to eat so much food,
dude. He just ate chicken, and he said he ate one carb meal a day, and it was at the beginning of the day. It was a huge bowl of oatmeal. He ate 6 meals a day, and he ate chicken breast all day, chicken breast and like rice. And I'm like,
dang, chicken tenderloins, man.
Yeah, he ate chicken tenderloins with barbecue sauce. And okay, well, we're not going to sit here and say that it doesn't have anything to do with genetics, because genetics are huge in bodybuilding.
I would say that's like probably the biggest factor.
Yeah.
Because everybody takes performance enhancing.
Oh, no.
Right? So if everybody does that, then what makes the one stand out that stands out?
Yep.
It's got to be genetics, right?
So that's probably, I mean, if you think bodybuilding is one of the few sports, and I'll call it a sport, that everybody's on an even playing field, because everybody has just as much access to PDs and performance-enhancing drugs as anybody else.
That's right.
Yep.
So when everybody's at this point, the only thing that can take you any farther
Because everybody's work habit, everybody, maybe not everybody has the same work habit or puts in as much, but if you get to that level, you pretty much are putting in the same amount of work as everybody else, right?
That's right.
So the only thing that would divide you from or make you stand out from other people would have to be genetics.
Yeah,
it'd have to be.
And Ronnie Coleman, not only did he have the best genetics in the game, but he also had the best work ethic in the game.
He worked hard, for sure.
Dude can't walk today because of it. Because he spent so much time lifting such heavy weight that now, dude, have you seen him? He can't walk.
Yeah, I saw him on YouTube, or I saw some YouTube videos.
He's on crutches, man.
And as a matter of fact, speaking to genetics, there's a lot of bodybuilders that go and have calf implants.
Yeah.
Because calves are strictly genetic. You can work out and make your calves a little bit more defined or whatever, but to make them bigger, typically it's completely genetic. So a lot of them will go have implants.
Dang.
And isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that calves were genetic.
They are.
Okay, here's a question, and I'm taking a different direction here, and this is for you, also being a scientist. Is hair loss for me and Dalton, which is pretty extreme. I'm 24 years old, and is that genetic on your mom's side or your dad's side?
I think it's on your dad's side, and
that's based on what I've seen, I think it is too.
Yeah. Now, it can't from what I remember, and it's been several years since I've had genetics class, right? Yeah. But from what I remember, there are it can be traced to your mom's side on like her dad, right? But I think for the most part, it's on your dad's side. Yeah. I think for the most part, and it's got something to do with testosterone.
Does it really?
It does.
So I thought. Sure. Yeah. So DHT.
Dihydro. This is a long word.
Whenever you raise your testosterone, your DHT levels go up, and they say that blocks your hair growth in your hair or something like that.
Yeah, it causes the follicles to clog up and contributes to hair loss. So, but there's things that you can take to remedy that.
DHT blockers.
Yeah, but there's something organic and natural that you can take. Yeah. Pumpkin seed oil.
Pumpkin seed oil.
Yeah, you can look that up, and there was studies done on it's on PubMed, and there's actual pictures of participants in a study that they did with pumpkin seed oil over 6 months, and went from showing where they were having hair loss and it was obvious to 6 months later where they started growing their hair back. So I mean, it's legit. It's legit.
Would you say that you're a prime supporter of natural medication and natural remedies
100%
medication? Why is that?
Because back in the 1915 or something like that, before that period of time, everything was natural. It was plant-based medicine.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of documentaries that and it's not like speculation. You can go back and actually see where this is documented. The Rockefellers basically took over medicine by contributing funds to all the major medical school colleges.
You talking about the ones who
David Rockefeller and the Rockefeller family?
Are you talking about the same ones who built New York City, pretty much?
Yeah. And because they owned oil wells and stuff like that, they had their wealth mainly from oil wells. And I've seen several documentaries that talked about where back in the late 19-teens and early 1920s, they went around to all the major medical schools and offered them money, grants, to for them to be able to take somebody of their choosing and put on their board that actually sits and helps them make decisions on their curriculum. And so these medical schools took the money, because
I bet
to build bigger laboratories and more equipment and stuff like that. And so what they did is they basically slowly changed and took over the medical field and went from plant-based medicine to petro-based medicine, because most all medications are actually synthesized from petro. Petrochemicals.
I've always been. So how did they learn that, say, a certain chemical would cause? Did they have to use human studies on that?
Experimental animals and mainly animals.
Because there's thousands of drugs out there.
Sure.
And they know for sure that if you take this chemical drug,
it suppresses certain symptoms.
That it's going to do this.
Yeah. Right.
That it's going to do this.
But you notice it suppresses certain symptoms, but it doesn't cure anything.
It does not cure anything.
And
that suppresses.
And sorry about that.
Provides relief.
And that's actually their whole, from what I understand, their business model was created around that. Yeah. Because they want people to they want repeat business.
They want people to keep coming back.
They want people. They don't really want to cure anything.
It's just, You can't make a tire that's indestructible. I mean,
There are, man.
I mean, but your tire's gonna get flat at some point. You got to go back.
That's true.
You can't make a car that doesn't need an oil change.
Well,
It's funny. It's funny you said that about tires. I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn this.
Oh, you good, brother?
I don't know how to turn the sound off. I thought I had it off. I saw a tire commercial. Michelin tire, and it was an airless tire. I'm sorry about that, man. I don't know how. I thought I had this turned off. Let me go to airplane mode.
There you go.
Somebody
There we go. I got it.
Where you are?
I got it.
Shoot.
So I ran across this commercial, and it was an airless tire, and Michelin put this out. I think it was Michelin, and this was like from 2010, and it was a BMW on in an airport, and it showed this BMW, and it was an airless tire, and they were advertising it, and they were about to put this on the market. Well, all of a sudden it didn't happen. And then they came out and was interviewed like a couple years later. Of course, this is all retrospect because I'm looking at this, and I guess it was like 5 years ago. So the commercial was 6 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
And basically, they were shut down from putting this on the market by the DOT. And the DOT's reasoning is by law, for you to have the tire on your vehicle on state and federal highways has to have air in them.
What?
That's what they claim. And actually, if you do some more research and look into it, it was really gonna hit the rubber industry.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So then I think maybe 4 years after this tire commercial came out, they started producing them for heavy equipment. So you can actually buy them for heavy equipment, bulldozers, and you can buy them for four-wheelers and stuff like that. You just can't, and you can buy them for a vehicle. You can buy them for a 4x4 truck, but you can't be on the federal or state highway with them on your vehicle. Yeah. But they're completely airless, man. They're completely airless. And as a matter of fact, the way they're made, they completely do away for the need for suspension because of the way the tire is made. Yeah. I have to show y'all this.
Because there's no issues with
the tire. It's a rubber shell, and then the veins that come off the rubber shell that go to the hub are rubber.
Mm-hmm. So it just eats it up.
It does away for the suspension. Yeah. You don't need the suspension on your vehicle, but it actually takes the place of suspension. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
This is what I always say about. Okay, so here's a not a controversial topic, but it's a hot topic in the whole world we live in today. Why not make electric cars if you can? Why not? If you can make an electric car, why not make an electric car? If there's another way to invent a car that's other than the way it's made now, why not try to do it? I mean, that's another example, because if you try to do something new or fresh, you're taking profit away from the tradition that we've already had and the industry that we've already built into $1 billion industry. Now, I'm not saying I want all the cars to be electric. I like cars. I like doggone carburetors. Those don't exist anymore, but I like them. Okay, I like muscle cars. I like gasoline. I don't like gasoline to be $3 a gallon.
No doubt.
But I don't mind it one bit. But if you can make something new, why not make something new?
Well, you're supposed to be able to in our free market, right? But is it really a free market?
It's not anymore. And I don't think it ever has been. And you bring it back to the Rockefeller. The reason we have a free market, the reason we have rules, is because some of the guns like him,
that's right.
Carnegie and Rockefeller and all those guys who were
antitrust laws that got put in to stop monopolization.
Yeah,
monopolization.
And speaking of monopolization, freaking Amazon is a monopoly. Monopoly. Amazon is driving the price down on everything that you can get at Walmart. So why would I go to Walmart? And they're making their shipping faster.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I was watching some this guy that I watch on YouTube. He was talking about how we need to what is it called when you quit buying from somebody?
Boycott.
Boycott Amazon. But I was like, dude, really?
It's not gonna happen
because it is what it is, man. It's convenient. Why would I spend more money buying it from somewhere else when I can buy it from them and get it delivered? They even have same day delivery now.
Same day delivery,
because
you got an Amazon facility center at every corner now.
Yeah,
sure.
And so they're shipping all these products there. They literally have the products on site that are like 20 minutes away from your house. For example, when we was just starting to get this SteinCast started back up, we had to get a stand for our camera, and so me and Dalton, we went to the local store, Best Buy, and we went in there and we were looking around, and we looked on the stand for a stand for it. It was $45. Mm-hmm. In the store, I pulled up Amazon, $22 for the same exact thing. I'm like, why would I buy it here?
Right.
I get it there.
Hey, and Walmart is a monopoly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so I mean,
for sure.
You're not really hurting anybody by buying from Amazon, avoiding Walmart, because Walmart is a monopoly too.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a such thing anymore as self-owned stores, is it? Besides maybe like a diner or something like that.
You're gonna have. I mean, you mean just like buying cell phones from there?
Well, I mean just like any kind of store that you go to buy anything from. Really, if you think about it, everything is a monopoly now. All the stores are like really parts of really large chains.
No local stores.
No. Besides maybe a diner or something like that. Or
there's some hardware stores that are still local.
Yeah.
And but they're not
very few.
Eventually, they're not going to exist.
Very few.
Eventually, they're not going to exist.
You're right. I mean,
so
you can get Lowe's, Home Depot, Dollar General,
Ace
Walmart.
Hardware.
Ace Hardware.
Yeah, exactly.
That's becoming a big thing.
I mean, their prices can be low. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, really and truly, if you think about it, who are you really hurting by buying from Amazon now? I mean, depending on what you're buying. If you're buying everyday things, I mean, it's
the problem is those small businesses like a local hardware store is what fuels the economy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you're buying.
Not to mention, and also another controversial topic, Amazon don't pay no doggone taxes. Not like they should.
Some of the things they don't know, but
like they should.
But if you look at, like, you can get online and look at the top 100 biggest businesses, corporations that don't pay any taxes. Man, there's some of the biggest ones that make some of the most money don't pay any taxes. It's crazy, man, how they get away with it. And not only do they not pay taxes, they get income credits, which is free tax money, not tax breaks. They get income credit, which is actually given to them. It's crazy, man.
That's another controversial topic, but it's also one that I agree with. Why not? Why are you not paying taxes?
Yeah, no doubt. If everybody else has to pay them,
why does Jimmy Joe's hardware store have to pay all this amount in taxes, but meanwhile Home Depot, you're somehow escape free of it, and your revenue is $1 billion more than mine.
Man. And I think a lot of that has to do with lobbyists, that they have the money to pay the lobbyists to lobby Congress and the Senate to get laws written that are in their favor. That gives them an advantage over smaller businesses.
Wow.
And they buy out the business. They it's just the way it is, man.
Yeah.
That's what we said. It's a corrupt government system, man. I think if you did away with the lobby from the federal government, I think that would fix a lot of things. Because it's bribery is what it is. They claim, it's not really giving them money personally, but yeah, it kind of is, man. When you donate to their campaigns and stuff like that.
It's coming back to their pocket at some point.
Man.
Yeah. Because they'll invest in you knowing that they're going to get a return.
Sure.
Whether it's power, whether it's money, whatever it is, whether it's another vote, another re-election.
Yeah. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, the biggest lobby in the United States is Big Pharma.
Yeah.
That's the biggest lobby. They spend like twice as much as anybody else is even close to them. I think the next closest thing to them is gas, is energy, the energy industry.
And Big Pharma's not on the verge of getting shut down. The gas industry is getting attacked every day.
Yeah.
And just like I was just talking about with the electric cars, they want to move to that.
You know what's funny about the electric car thing? People don't think about, where does that electricity come from?
It comes from a gas engine.
Or coal.
Something
that
which is not a renewable.
And it's a pollutant, right? They claim gas is a pollutant, and it is, but so is coal.
Yep.
People, some everyday people where electricity comes from. It comes from the wall plug. That's basically about what they think, or a lot.
Folks don't get it, man.
Not thinking that some son of a gun had to go out there and work his tail off.
Yeah, and it's like Elon talking about how Bitcoin is not, to mine Bitcoin actually is dirty, is a pollutant because of the energy consumption. Well, all your electric cars that are powered by electricity is well. I mean, that's the same thing as electricity. It's got to come from somewhere.
What are you talking about? Bitcoin as a pollutant? What is that?
To mine Bitcoin, it takes. Now, when it first started, it didn't take a lot of electricity to mine Bitcoin.
To mine
produce
Bitcoin.
the coins.
I don't even know what that even.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
To mine Bitcoin. I didn't even know that was an actual physical thing. I thought it was just a crypto.
Yeah. The way. So it's kind of a misnomer. Is that a word? Misnomer? I think it is. Anyway, they say mining, but actually what they're doing is processing. Payments is what it is. So a block on the blockchain, to mine a Bitcoin or to mine Bitcoins, people use their computer to like process payments, and so many number of payments or transactions between people make up a block. Well, that has gotten bigger and bigger since Bitcoin has been, since it has been in existence. So to mine Bitcoin, which is called mining Bitcoin, for every block that is actually processed and put on the blockchain and documented, produces a Bitcoin. And it's all digital. It's actually not really physically mining anything. It is pretty confusing. But Elon Musk started taking Bitcoin for his Teslas, right? For like 3 or 4 months, and when he did that, the crypto market shot way up.
I bet it did.
Yeah. So after about 3 or 4 months, he announced that he was going to quit taking Bitcoin for Tesla payments because it was too much energy consumption to mine Bitcoin. Where the market plummeted.
Is that when it started going down recently?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not the only reason. He contributed to it though.
Yeah. He's always like with Dogecoin as well. That's something going to come out and be like, hey, I'll go buy this, and then all of a sudden it'll spike up.
But what's funny is a lot of people are speculating. It's just speculation that he actually is doing that to buy more Bitcoin at a lower price.
Oh, so he's trying to influence something else,
right.
So he can go buy.
So he can buy more, because he announced right before it went up that he was buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Then he said he was going to start taking payments for his Tesla in Bitcoin, so it went up. Well, it was way up. So then he announced he was going to quit taking Bitcoin payments, and then it went down. And people.
So then he bought it again.
Yeah, he was buying it again. Yeah. So, hey, I mean, it is what it is, man. If you got the ability to do that, then so be it. If you can do it, but just you kind of like. Manipulating a market like that
which is illegal.
It is,
you
man.
You cannot manipulate the market, but it's
you're
always
not supposed to. But
no, people have always done it.
Yeah,
people have always done it.
Yep.
So, I was talking to you earlier, and you said that you lost $2,000 in cryptocurrency
yesterday.
What happened?
Yesterday, man. So there's there's something called I told you mining.
Yep.
Right, cryptocurrency. There's something called yield farming, and what that is, whenever you buy cryptocurrency, like from an exchange, there's different cryptocurrencies paired together that you use to buy different coins, like say Bitcoin, for instance. You can buy it with, you can trade several other coins for it, but one of the bigger coins that people actually use is called Tether, and it's pegged to the US dollar, so for every Tether coin is $1. For the most part, it might fluctuate like 0.1% or something like that. But so what happens is there's these things called liquidity pools, where these new exchanges need money on their exchange to pay people that want to cash out their coins and stuff like that. So what they do is you buy, say Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Tether is paired together. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, you buy Tether first. On some exchanges, and then you can trade that Tether for Bitcoin. Some exchanges just take straight money from your bank for Bitcoin. I'm just using these two as an example. There's other coins that are smaller coins that you literally have to buy Bitcoin and trade to get these other coins. Anyway, so a liquidity pool, what happens is you buy these two coins, you put them together, and you deposit them in this liquidity pool. And so people all over the world that are using this exchange, they're actually using your money, your funds, to pay people out for when they want to cash out their cryptocurrency. So you earn a percentage on your funds that you deposit into their liquidity pool. With this particular coin that I got into, is fairly new. It's only been out for a couple of weeks, and the return on it was something insane. It was 4.5% per day.
Goodness.
So if you deposited $1,000 into this pool of these two coins that were together, you would earn 4% every day, and it was compounded interest. Most of them are. So, say you put $1,000 in, that first day you'll earn 4%, right? Which is what, $40?
Yeah.
So the next day you're earning 4% on 1,000 plus $40, right? Then that's going to be a bigger number. The next day's bigger. The next day bigger. The next day bigger. So, my brother had been in it for about 4 days, and he deposited. He had $5,000 in it, and he actually made $5,000 in 4 days because the market had fluctuated and the price of the coin had went up.
Yeah.
Plus, whatever he compounded in interest contributed to that money, that he had made. So I put $2,000 in on Monday, and when I went to bed Tuesday night, I had $3,000 in my balance.
Yeah.
When I woke up the next morning, it had went down to 25, and I was like, well, the price of the coin I was mining had went down some. I was like, okay, so it'll go back up. So all through the day, I'm working and I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at my phone. I'm checking out my balance every 5 minutes, and it's just steadily going down. Well, the price of the coin was steadily going down too, and I was like, this is crazy. But I didn't want to pull out my money and then it go back up, because once you pull it out, you've taken the loss, basically.
Exactly.
Right. So long story short, I watched it go from where it was at 3,000 the night before all the way down to 0 by Wednesday night. And the Iron Finance was the name of the company that came out with this Titan coin that I was mining. They claimed that there was a bank run, and it's like the first one in crypto history where they've actually done a bank run. They come up with this big long excuse. To make a long story short, they had like $2.something billion worth of people's money in this coin.
They took it,
and it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It just disappeared. And my brother lost all his money. He had like 5 that he put in, and he made 5. He had 10. He lost all of it. And the bad thing about it was, I waited until the coin got up to $60. When I bought in, it was 30. So it had went up to 60 from 30 in like a day and a half. Well, I waited till it got down to 20, and I was like, I'm taking my money out. I couldn't. I tried to take my money out. It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't process it. So there wasn't anything I could do. I just sat there and watched it drop down to the 0.
Dude,
Yeah.
what the heck, man?
That's the
And things like that happen all the time in crypto. That's one of the chances you take, But
2,000.
it's a hard lesson learned. It's a hard lesson learned because don't get me wrong. I've made pretty good money off of getting into crypto, but it was always just like buying a coin and sitting there and holding it and waiting until it went up, and then once it's up a certain amount, I might sell it and make money that way. But this was a different thing.
Yeah. That's totally a form of gambling.
It is 100%.
Absolutely.
100%, man.
Because you sit there and you watch it and you say, "Oh man, that's up pretty high. Should I sell it?" No.
Yeah, and that emotion takes over. That, and it's greed, is what it is. I'm like, oh wow, he made this much money. I can do that. So and I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
$2,000 to me is a lot.
It's like sitting at the roulette wheel and winning big on one and then saying, "You know what?
I'm gonna keep going.
Do it again.
I'm gonna keep going."
Because you know good and well that next time.
Yeah. So if I would have taken it out when it was like 3,000, I'd have made 1,000. But to me, I'm thinking, wow, that 3 is going to compound this much interest, and I'm going to make this much money, this much more in the next.
You only think about the positive outcome.
That's right.
And that's gambling.
It is, man.
That is. That's because say you go gamble on a sports competition. You know in the back of your head, hey, my guy's going to win.
It's a dopamine thing.
That's exactly what it is. I saw somebody said that gambling is one of the most addictive drugs.
Yes, it is.
It's
dopamine
because it just the reward, man.
Well, it's called the reward neurotransmitter.
Yeah,
dopamine is.
Yep.
Same thing with drugs and everything else. It's a dopamine release.
And then I always tell people, it's like the worst thing you could ever do, gambling, is win big. Because you know good and well you're going to remember that day for the rest of your life. That day
you're going to chase it. You're going to chase that feeling.
You're going to say, I'm going to do it again. And so That's why people win. That's why when you're going down the interstate, you see billboards that say, "I won $25,000."
That's right.
Because you say, "Well, that's gonna be me tonight."
That's right.
It's gonna be me tonight, Sheila.
That ain't gonna be you.
I've went to the boats and gambled actually once in my life, and I took it was a friend of mine's birthday, and I went mainly to eat the buffet, you know.
Yeah.
But I had $60 in my pocket, so we went to the blackjack table. I lost it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
$5 a pop. I would hit 21. The dealer would hit 21, and if you match the dealer, they win automatically.
Yep.
I looked at him. I was like, "Dude, you are the devil. You are the devil." And I only lost $60, but it stuck with me. And I was like, the next time I went, I played the nickel machines.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
That's
Or
the way to
quarter
go,
machines.
man. That's that's not the way to go if you want to win on a slot machine.
Right.
But you got to have a little bit of technique.
If you want to win and keep your paycheck for the week, just don't go to the casino.
That's it, man.
I mean, that's
That's why I figured I was safer at the slots. You know, I mean, because I wouldn't lose that much in blackjack. I love blackjack, man.
Yeah.
But the odds are totally against you. If you hit 21 and the dealer, it just seemed like every time I hit 21, the dealer hit 21. Every time, every single time, and I hit it quite a bit, you know, before I ran out of money.
And they try to act like the house isn't rigged.
Oh, man.
No, it's so rigged.
It's got to be. Because, I mean, they make so much money.
Oh, yeah.
And just, for example, casinos and all that, if you go to a school over there in Mississippi, man, those facilities over there are so nice because they have the gambling and all that, man. They bring it back. They say that they bring it back to the schools. I think they do.
I think they pay they probably pay some of it in taxes that goes to the schools.
Yeah, well,
sure.
it does because they got some nice facilities.
Got a lot. In
Mississippi.
Their schools are well taken.
Hey, I think Alabama should have casinos.
Oh, dude, I agree.
I don't see why they don't.
I mean, if there's a big push against it, but here's the thing, man. If you're a grown adult, do what you want to do. I mean, it's not like selling drugs on the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's I know some people traditionally, from a religious standpoint, look down on gambling. But what isn't gambling?
Oh, dude, what's the difference? I mean,
everything you do during the day is a gamble.
Exactly.
If you really want to think about it, you know.
That's true. Really, the only time that the Bible speaks about gambling is they were gambling in the temple.
In the temple.
Yeah, like
that I know of.
That's really the only time. Other than that, it speaks on living, being foolish with your money and all that.
And not being consumed and overdoing.
Exactly.
You know.
Being a good steward.
Being a good steward with
blessing.
your money because it's a blessing. Now,
you want to know what a buddy told me, and whatever, you can get backlash. It's controversial, but just like you're talking about lobbyists, a big reason why in Alabama that we don't have it is because of Native American lobbyists.
Because they have a casino.
They have a monopoly.
I didn't know that.
On the the industry of gambling in Alabama.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because they can do it. Anytime that it's presented, there's a strong Native American push to say, no, you're not doing that. And it always gets like there's something right now they're saying in 2022 election in the midterms they're going to vote on it again.
Yeah.
And it probably won't get passed. But it did pass the Alabama Senate. But they had to go in and change some stuff.
That makes sense now. I didn't know that it was a Native American push. You know, I'm 4%. Not fourth generation. Fourth generation. That makes more sense.
So you're more than 4% then.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like we're going to Atmore tonight.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
I went there.
We stopped by there.
I went there and walked around for like 30 minutes looking for the card tables.
No,
there is none.
It's all they got.
What's going on with this? It's kind of a dirty place, though.
Oh, dude.
All casinos are.
Yeah, but this is. I mean, April and I went over there and ate dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I won't go back. I'm not saying I'm too good to go there or anything, but it just, when you compare it to Biloxi,
yeah, exactly.
It's not as well kept.
You should stop off at Victory Land.
Really? That sounds like a great place.
That's an inside joke.
It's in Shorter, Alabama.
It's shorter out. We were on I-65. We're like, I wonder what Victory Land is like.
Was that like a little local?
Dude,
car. It's pretty dumb.
We drove by there. It's abandoned looking hotel, dude. I mean, depressed looking people.
Did you know that there are no windows or clocks in a casino?
Because they don't want people to know what time it is.
They don't want people to leave.
Yeah.
They don't want people to look up at the clock and say, "Oh gosh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning,"
or be able to see it's daylight outside.
Dude, I went to Las Vegas. And we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go for our flight to leave to come back. Son, At 4:20 in the morning, we are walking out, going to our car to get in our car, and there's 100 people in that doggone casino over there. I'm like, bro, did you sleep at all?
No.
No, them son of a guns up in there gambling. 4 o'clock in the morning.
How many people have you seen in the casino with oxygen tanks and stuff?
Oh, dude.
Older people?
A bunch of them.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
Them motherfuckers sitting there and smoke,
You
man.
know what I always say?
Smoking, taking their oxygen mask off and
Yeah.
smoking and hitting
Pressing the button.
Let's say they got their mask on, though.
Yeah.
They got their mask
they
on.
got
They'll
their
be
COVID
okay.
mask
Yeah.
on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they got their mask on. They'll be safe. Hey, the way I see it is
Yeah.
they ain't here for a long time.
Let's
They're here
talk
for a
about
good time.
that. Okay,
so.
Oh, my Lord.
At this time last year when we did the podcast, we were in the middle of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
Everything was shut down.
Oh, but all of a
Supposedly we
sudden
still
now
are.
we're not in a
Yeah.
we're not in a pandemic
now-
anymore. It's over. Yeah, whatever.
I don't feel any different.
Depending
now.
on what state you're in.
I don't feel any different now than I felt then.
I'm not holding back on anything on this, by the way, on my
Me either.
opinions.
I'm done with it.
I have nothing to hold me
If we
back
get
on
shut-
sharing my
It's kind
opinion.
of be controversial, man.
I'm tired of COVID,
If we
man.
get
Me
shut
too, man.
down on Facebook, I mean, who cares?
I literally
At
feel
this point.
like there was nothing we did to slow down the virus.
You can't.
You can't slow down a virus.
You know what's funny is
There's nothing a man can do to stop a virus that's
Let's be
microscopic.
honest.
what's funny is on the side of the box of the masks that they were saying that you should wear, the surgical mask, it says on the side of the box, will not protect against viruses or COVID-19. It says it right on the side of the side of the box.
Dude, how about these cloth masks that everybody wears?
Oh yeah, that they wear every single day.
So safe.
You know, there's a thing called black lung disease
Yeah.
that is.
Dude, you just said black and then the L after that. I was like, no, we're not getting into that.
We're not talking about Black Lives Matter.
No.
Oh, no,
You
no.
said black. I was
Black-
like, no.
no, black lung disease. And it's actually from wearing masks and wearing the same one every day
Yeah.
and rebreathing the bacteria that's built
Oh,
up in the
I'm
I
sure.
mask.
bet it's nasty.
Yeah,
Dude, them
for sure.
things stink after like a day.
No.
I had this.
Dude.
What about the neck gaiters? Those are very protective, right?
The what?
The neck gaiters, the one that.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
pull
the
it
ones
over.
that you pull
Yeah,
up.
your fishing mask that you wear. So
Yeah, those are very, very safe.
Yeah, I actually had to buy one because I went into a Walgreens and I walked through the door. This has been about 6 months ago. I walked through the door and
They yelled at you when you.
they
walked
yelled
in.
at me and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't have a mask. And they were like, well, you're going to have to buy one. And I was like, I don't see any mask anywhere. The only ones I had left was those neck gaiters. So I had to buy one. It was like $15 for one. I stretched it over my head, put it on there, and ended up going and getting my prescription. It was just totally ridiculous. man.
I walked into one, and they had masks at the front. I said, God, let me just have one of those because I didn't have one on.
Mhm.
Said, oh, it's 81 cents. I was like, dude, you're really gonna make me pay 81 cents to get that mask? I mean, gosh darn, come on. What about vaccines?
Oh,
That's
do
a
you want to
controversy.
go there, man?
I would with you. I want to go on the vaccine route with you.
Yeah.
What do you think about the vaccines? Are you going to get the vaccine?
No, man.
Why?
They're experimental to begin with, right?
Here we go.
You know, the thing about it is, all you have to do is actually read a little bit about when they actually came out with all this information about the vaccines. Besides what you see on mainstream media, media won't talk about this. Number one, all right, even if they weren't toxic, let's put that aside. They claimed that what they measured in the trials that they did, the short amount of time that they did it, was they measured against symptoms. They claimed that yes, we didn't check to see whether it reduced transmission or prevented you from getting COVID.
Geez.
All it does is when they say it's 90% effective, what they're talking about is it's 90% effective at reducing your symptoms if you get COVID.
Yeah.
That's what they said, right? So to begin with, and also we know younger people aren't at risk.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of them are asymptomatic carriers. They don't even know that they have it, you know, because the symptoms are nil, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, does it make sense to get an experimental vaccine to only reduce your symptoms if you get COVID?
My question is this. How many people got COVID and came in contact with COVID and had zero symptoms at all and naturally gained antibodies
That's right.
to the virus? And they
So
don't,
what's the vaccine for?
Yeah.
Did the vaccine actually do anything?
Yeah, it caused a lot of blood clots.
That's what there was
No.
no way we were not to the point where we reached herd immunity naturally.
Sure, and that's
From-
the way every virus works, right?
That's what I'm
That's the way
saying.
every virus works.
So why in the world are we giving a vaccine and making such a big deal about a virus that kills less than 1% of people?
Because Big Pharma lobbies the government to put propaganda out so they can make money off of selling vaccines, in my opinion. Because we know you can't sue them.
Yeah.
If you take your vaccine and your family member dies, and
it's a federal, that's a federal law.
That's right.
Can't sue
you
them.
cannot sue the vaccine manufacturer. They're released of all liability. That by itself would make me say, why do you have to be released of liability? I thought it was safe. It was safe and effective.
Exactly.
How positive
so why do you
got to
make this law against it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I mean, here's the thing: for me as a 24-year-old young person, I feel like the chances of me having an adverse reaction to the vaccine right now is probably worse than my chance of dying from COVID-19.
It is, and that's statistically been proven.
Statistically, what the heck? Then,
Point
man?
zero, I think, for up to I think 18 to 34, something like that age group was like 0.02 or 0.01 or something like that. The percentage that you actually have some kind of issues from COVID, or is the percentage of dying from COVID 0.02.
It's pretty low.
I mean, because I did get, I got the virus.
I did too.
Early January. I was sick for one day. I felt like I had the flu, and then I couldn't smell for a week.
I hung out with him. I hung out with him for 2 days while he was positive for the virus.
He was fine.
Nothing.
Yeah. And after that week, I was like, "Hey, I'm good."
Yeah, I had it. I didn't get tested, but I'm pretty sure I had it. My brother got tested; he had it.
Yeah.
So I assumed that I had it because I had a day where I coughed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And didn't really feel all that great, and then I was fine. But I've had the flu before. I think once, from what I remember. I don't know if I've had it twice. I think pretty much only had it once. I felt terrible for like a week.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die for a week.
The flu's messed me up before in the past.
Oh, it was way worse.
I've never had flu. I've had strep throat. I get strep throat often.
Yeah, the flu was terrible, man.
Yeah.
It was bad. So, yeah, honestly, if you look at the risks, it's, and the other thing about it is, which they don't say on the mainstream media, but if you do your research, you'll find out that they actually tried to make a coronavirus vaccine since SARS outbreak in early 2000s. And they would do animal studies, and they gave the animals these vaccines, and the animals did fine until they exposed the animals to the actual virus, and then they ended up dying from pneumonia. Their body overreacted to the virus and had it like a hyper reaction to the virus.
Yeah.
So their body fought off the virus too much.
Well, they were exposed to a vaccine that had the coronavirus in it, and then when they were exposed after that to the coronavirus, they had what's called a cytokine storm. Their bodies had a hyper reaction to it. It's kind of like people that are allergic to penicillin. Most of the time, they don't have an allergic reaction the first time they take penicillin. Usually, it's the second time.
Yeah.
Because they're exposed to it, they create antibodies, and then the antibodies kick in the second time they're exposed to it, and they have anaphylaxis to it or reaction to it.
Yeah.
So it was similar to what happened with these animals. They were exposed to this virus, and so the second time they were exposed to the virus, they had this hyper allergic reaction, and they ended up killing the animals from having pneumonia. So that kept them from producing this vaccine. And that's in PubMed. That's in studies from PubMed where they publish these studies.
Wow.
It's not speculation or just a conspiracy.
Yeah.
So that has kept them from producing a vaccine for the coronavirus for years now. So all of a sudden, they've got it right now. All of a sudden, they produced the coronavirus vaccine, and they skipped the animal studies this time.
They just used human studies.
They just went straight to the humans.
Well, keep in mind, it is not approved for human use. It's approved for emergency use.
Sure.
Right now.
Sure.
So that brings me to the next point. What do we feel about these places that are trying to force people to take the vaccine in order to, hey, you can't come into the store unless you have the vaccine?
Boycott those places.
Hey,
stay away from them.
You can't go on an airplane unless you have a vaccine. That starts to make life pretty tough.
It does, man. And
it starts to restrict your life. That's
I think it's going to get
unconstitutional.
worse. I think it's going to get worse.
It will.
I think so.
Because now we're to the point where it's like, okay, the virus is pretty much non-existent in Mobile County. We have an average of like 19 people a week. So, that's pretty low. 7 day average.
And remember, everybody that gets sick, when they test them for this coronavirus, it's not from what I understand, these PCR tests, they detect a coronavirus.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
COVID-19.
That coronavirus.
Yeah.
Any coronavirus.
Which is a common cold.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Did COVID-19 have any influence or cause any issues with the 2020 election? Did it have anything to do with it?
No, man. I'm real. You really want to get into that? I'm real.
I know that you're
a straight up conspiracy minded person.
That's why I was asking you this question.
Yeah, I believe that all the elections are predetermined anyway.
Really?
I do.
Oh, wow.
So why do you believe that?
Because, well, number one, not everybody can run for, well, they say anybody can run for president, right? But not everybody can be in the debates, right?
Yeah.
You have to
have a certain amount of the votes.
You have to have a certain amount of the votes. And I believe, and also the Electoral College, back, I don't know how long ago it was. I think it was like sometime in the 1800s or I think it was in the late 1800s. Used to your electorates were voted on by the people, right? That changed. I think it was in 1862 or somewhere around there. So now the government, the Congress, picks the electorates that represent the vote. And so when you go and you cast your vote, it goes into a pool.
Yep.
Then you have an electorate that represents your area that casts a vote. So your vote doesn't directly go to who you want to elect. They don't. It goes to an electorate.
Yep.
The electorate casts a vote. That's the Electoral College. So back in, I think it was 1862, they actually did away with the public being able to vote and decide who their electorate representative was. So now it's determined by Congress, which is the government, right? And there's been controversies that come up where people have gotten upset because their electorate representatives didn't vote like Republicans voted for some Democrats.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's legal. It can legally happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the way it's set up now. So just that alone takes away the ability for the people to vote for who they really want to vote for, because it's not up to the people. It's up to the electorate representatives who are picked by the government. So I just think that alone right there takes away that's why I said I think they're predetermined, because
it just makes it so difficult. One of the first democracies we ever saw was in ancient Greece, in Athens, and what they have what you call a direct democracy. We have a representative democracy in the United States, where we have representatives that vote for us and make laws and stuff like that. In a direct democracy, which they only had, I think 6,000 citizens or something, they would literally all cast a vote for like individual. And they would go and they would cast it.
Which is a popular vote, like the popular vote.
You wouldn't be able to do that in the United States and be able to and keep it.
I mean, and I know it's cliche for people to say, but then you got New York, California, Texas deciding who's going to be president.
Right, and that's why the Electoral College is set up.
That means it's going to be blue.
Right.
Every single time.
But if it was set up the way it used to be, where the people actually could vote and elect their own representatives for the Electoral College, because that's the way it was set up, and then that was changed.
And what's the state? I think it's New Hampshire, and there's another one. They're set up by congressional districts.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy who's he calls himself what does Ryan call himself?
He calls him. He's a libertarian.
Anarcho-capitalist.
Anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah. And he thinks that, everything should come down to states' rights and what specific states say.
I like that word, anarcho-capitalist, because people relate the word anarchy to chaos, and that's not what it means.
We wouldn't be a country without anarchy.
Well, and anarchy.
Let's be honest.
Anarchy. If you look up the word anarchy, or I don't know about the newer definitions, but if you look up in the older dictionaries the word anarchy, it just means without representation or without government.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean chaos and burning down buildings or anything like that.
It's not a TV show on FX.
Right.
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy.
It kind of means that you can govern yourself.
Right.
You don't need any authority.
No rulers.
Yeah,
no rulers.
Exactly. You don't need police officers.
Right. But they've kind of, the propaganda has kind of made the word more, kind of has messed.
Yeah,
give it a bad connotation.
His buddy, he believes that you shouldn't have anything, man. If people People should be able to just kill each other if they want to. Just let natural selection play out amongst all human society.
He believes all drugs should be legal.
Yeah. It's another historical thing, man. You're talking about China. They came up with all these different philosophies on controlling. You had legalism and all these different things that came out of that time. And legalism states, and Han Fiezi was the guy who made that back in ancient China a long time ago. He said that humans have to have some type of authority over them to give them rules and stuff. Some people disagree with that. Some people do agree with it, but I think I do. I think you got to have some type of structure. Otherwise, it's just not going to go too good.
Well, you definitely have to have groups of people that come together to maintain order. But I believe my problem with it is these people that are authority figures legally can do things other people can't.
That is true.
And that's sad. That's not right.
So that's the only problem I have with it. If they had to follow the same rules as everybody else, then it would be okay in my mind. But that's the only problem I have with it, is because they legally can do things that other people can't, and I don't think that's right.
Sometimes bosses suck, man. Sometimes people that are over here are terrible. Because they can kind of do whatever they want with no remorse and nothing to hold them back. And you're just sitting there like, well, what the heck? That dude just cussed me out,
Yeah, it's kind of different when you're working for somebody.
Yeah.
This actually paying you. It's a little different, but when you look at government is supposed to be representing the people. It's not supposed to be an authority over the people that can get away with.
Exactly, and that's how we were supposed to be set up.
Yeah.
Because you got King George over there in Britain, and they got people in place, and he has this title that sounds like he's important, but no. King George says is it. And you had that in like Germany, Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Like you had a guy who's supposed to be in charge, but it's like, no, Hitler might seem to be right here based on his title, but not for real. Like you don't have
There's always people in the background. There's
prime
always
minister or something. You don't get to say anything. Like, what do you think you are?
Well,
You're the king.
A lot of them are puppets, man. A lot of them are puppets. There's always other people in the background that control things that aren't out in the open. And
you know what controls things? You know what really controls things? Money controls.
Money.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Dude.
It controlled me to lose $2,000 yesterday.
Dude, it controls everything in the world we live in. The bottom line and profit is what controls everything in the world we live
100%,
in.
man.
This is why it's the only reason people get up and go to work every day.
That's right.
And I was, we talked about Amazon earlier, man. Have you seen some of the working conditions that some of them people have to work in?
I've heard about it.
I was watching a video the other day. They're talking about how they're not ever allowed to sit down, ever. And if they do, they're tracking every worker's every move
where they are
on a phone.
What they're doing.
Yeah,
so high tech.
And it's like it's literally like working at a sweatshop.
Well, speaking of sweatshops, did you see that deal that came out about Apple's factory in China, where they had to put nets outside of the windows because people were actually jumping out windows? They were overworking them to the point to where they were actually trying to commit suicide. So to keep that from happening, they put nets outside the building.
That's kind of. I don't want to say it's our fault, but we are kind of to blame for that.
It's an American company,
we
man.
We want something. It's like we got to have that instant gratification. I want the new iPhone. I got to get the iPhone 13 is coming out. And you got real human beings having to make this stuff.
Right.
And they're trying to jump out a window.
You think Steve Jobs ever actually invented anything?
No.
No, he just came up with something on paper.
With an idea.
It was like, hey, you make this.
Make this happen.
Yeah. Now.
Look,
what?
Kanye
what
said,
is this?
Look, Kanye said it best. I think it's like...
Kanye said it best.
Kanye West said it best.
Oh.
About Cardi B. She's like an owner of Polaroid or something now. And he said, what does she know about cameras? Nothing.
Oh, does she have her own camera or something?
She owns Polaroid.
I didn't know that.
Or something.
Cardi B bought
and he said,
Polaroid.
What does she know about cameras? Nothing, but she knows how to work a business.
Right.
Yep.
So, that's it. She's got the money. She can invest the money.
Yeah.
She can tell somebody what to do.
That's
and
right.
then she can ultimately make more money.
What the heck does Mark Cuban know about basketball?
Probably nothing.
He's the owner of the Mavericks.
But here's the thing. If he want to go tell that coach, hey, y'all need to run this zone on defense.
Speaking of Mark Cuban,
that coach is going to be like, all right, I'll do it.
Mark Cuban actually was advertising the coin that I lost $2,000 on.
Dude.
He for the last couple of weeks, he's actually pushing it and was like the mascot for this coin. And when everything went to zero yesterday, a lot of people were blaming him, saying that he contributed to the pump and dump. You know,
did he come out with a statement?
Well, he claimed, he was like, "Look, I got hit just like everybody else did, but luckily I pulled out in time." That's what he said.
But here's the problem, dude.
I bet you did. You had an insider telling you.
He did.
Think about it. Somebody was. I watched a video the other day. The difference between $1 million and $1 billion. I can't remember who was talking about it. Whatever. But it's like, what these people don't understand. There are folks in this world. Like, say you're a millionaire. You got $5 million in the bank. You could write me a check right now that would change my life forever and wouldn't even affect you.
Oh yeah.
And people don't understand. It's like Mark Cuban. He took a hit. Bull crap.
That's what he said.
Bull crap, you ain't take no hit.
No,
I mean, you can buy $4 million worth of it and doesn't make a difference to you.
That's a drop in the bucket.
You see that video where Mark Cuban was he was at a basketball game and they were interviewing him and he said the F word. He said, "Hey, we just want to tell you that you just got fined $30,000 for saying the F word." He said, "Oh, I did? Well, F it." And
yeah.
He got fined $60,000.
That's probably like 3 cents to us, man.
Yep. So, Mark Cuban, man, he's crazy. Have you ever watched that show, Shark Tank?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, they're mean to them folks sometimes.
Dude, they come in there with stupid ideas.
I mean, realistically, if I'm about to invest $1 million in your business, you come in with something stupid, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then
you got some say-so if you're going to invest that much.
Yes, dude. But then there's some other stuff you're like, really? Like, I thought about that last week.
Yeah.
You just now thought of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there, done that already.
Yeah. I just didn't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
But
have you seen, we was talking about it earlier, Jorge Masvidal. He has got his own bare knuckle league that he's starting. Yeah. That is their first official show is tomorrow night.
What is it? Game Bred.
Bro, we should go, man.
I'll be honest, I almost said inbred fighting.
Inbred.
I thought,
that sounds like Mississippi for you.
It's crazy, man.
Dude, we should totally go.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Well, SD's fighting, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's tomorrow night. I think he is fighting.
He's fighting in Jorge's thing,
yeah. He took a picture. Yeah.
We ought to go to it.
But I think he's fighting with gloves on. I think his fight's going to be with gloves on.
I would rather do that. Does it really make any difference, honestly, with the 4-ounce gloves they got?
It's more for your hands, right?
Supposedly, but I've been hit with bare knuckles and with gloves, and I'd rather get hit with gloves on because
I would too, for sure.
You don't get cut as much with gloves.
Bad.
And you can still get cut, but it's not near as bad as.
And that bare knuckle, I was talking to Chris about it. The way they tape, you can tape it up too, and they don't regulate how you tape it up.
No, you can make a cast out of tape.
You can tape that thing up and do whatever you want with it, and they can make them bleed even more.
Yeah.
That's what people
the way they tape up.
It's just a show. They're trying to entertain people. They want people to bleed.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm not into. I'm not really into, and I've seen BKFC bare knuckle. I've been watching it for about a year now. Yeah. I'm just not as into that as I am regular MMA.
They don't kick or take down.
No, but in this one they do. Game Breds they do.
Yeah,
they take down.
It's bare knuckle
trying to build
MMA.
Off some stuff he's already seen.
I'd like to go.
It's total MMA, but without.
Is he going to be there in Biloxi?
He was in I watched the weigh-ins today, and he was there.
Oh, wow.
In Biloxi.
Has he retired from UFC?
No. And the guy that announces for Island Fights, that guy, he was there doing the announcing.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Nice. Good.
What about Nate Diaz this past weekend, man?
Hey, man, he did better than I thought he was going to do.
Leon
I'm a Nate fan.
I love that guy. I've changed my opinions over the years, but he takes shots that normal people can't take. And he keeps going.
He's going to have a lot of CTE issues.
Yeah.
He probably already does. I mean, you listen to him talking.
Plus, but he does. Him and Nick, they roll with the punches. They're so good at rolling with the punches. They don't really take the full impact.
Literally a master at getting punched.
Yeah. They are, man. Hey, like Canelo. You ever watch Canelo? When he gets hit, he rolls his head and stuff like that to lessen the impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's like a master at it.
It almost gives the opponent a false hope.
Yeah, you can't hit them clean.
No. Is there music playing somewhere, Jacob?
That's Matt's phone. The owner of MaxFit. That's his phone ringing.
Really?
Yeah.
Our
microphones are picking them up all the way in here.
I heard that a while ago, and I was like, "Is he playing
music?" These new microphones are great.
They're great. Right. And hey,
picks everything up.
MaxFit.
We're just gonna be real with you. There's no reason to not be real with people. They're gonna watch the video.
No.
Look, if I gotta answer a phone call, I'll answer a phone call. Who cares? Yeah. It's
in
the show. It's just us talking.
It is what it is, man.
How long have we been going?
About an hour.
So what's going on with this helmet right here?
That's Jacob Whitehead is the tech guy.
Jacob, you can talk and say something to everybody.
He's over there.
I know, just listening. Just seeing how this conversation goes.
Are you into crypto? Are you into crypto? I saw you shaking your head like, yeah.
I was part of Doge back in 2017, 2018. I'd pumped in about $150.
Did you hang on to it?
I actually, back in January, before it spiked, I had about 72,000 Dogecoin, and there was some jump because I called Delton up, and it was in the middle of the school day, and I noticed that it went from 0.2 of a penny to 5 cents overnight, and I was looking up like, what the heck just happened? And
before you sold?
Oh, I sold it right at 5 cents, and because I looked it up, and I was like, I called him up, Delton, Dogecoin, yeah. Hey, I just made some good money off of some porn star on Twitter was talking about, hey, I got Dogecoin, and all these folks just went out and bought it. And so I thought, from being at 0.2 of a cent,
that was the top.
I hadn't ever seen it go above a penny, and so to see it go to 5 cents,
that's
I was
a big
like,
jump.
holy crap! And
Porn
so I
star
went
on
out.
Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Go back to January,
100%,
February.
man.
She's on TikTok.
And I was, I mean, it's true. And I went out of it, right before the Super Bowl. I didn't get any of that fiasco, and so it was down for a while, and then
it got up to 70 cents, didn't it, or 50?
It got up to 72 cents was the highest, and I did the math. Even today, which is like around 30.
It's about
around 30 cents.
30 cents, yeah.
I would have probably had enough money to pay all my debts off and probably.
If you had 70,000 of them and it's at 30 cents, that's 28.
Yeah, that'd be
Isn't that
about
28,000?
You got a lot of debt.
but that's like paying off cars
Did you
student
sell
loans.
it? Did you get out or no?
I got out at 5 cents, and I didn't get back in because I thought,
so
that's
you still made a good bit of money.
It's a great bit of money, but it's not, 28 to 30,000
got
today.
Yeah.
No, that's just today. If I would have sold
not to mention what is it 70 cents? You'd have made 140.
There you go, right there. That's what I'm saying. That's a brand new hat. Imagine a house.
Ain't that right? No. 7 times 7 is you'd have made
42.
49.
49.
My math.
7 times 6.
$140,000.
You'd have made 49,000.
$49,000.
That's life changing money.
That's pretty
life
life
changing.
changing.
That's a lot
If
of
you
money,
could
dude.
say, because I got 2 car payments right now. If you could say, hey, you don't have any more car payments.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I'd do with that
that
42,000? I'd take it to the roulette wheel and put it on black. I'm going 84,000.
Then you'd be sad.
I'd be pretty sad.
This is the part of the show where
I'd be wanting to shoot myself. I lost it.
yeah, this is the part of the show where we flash up the gambling hotline number just for Delton.
If
Nobody
you have a
else.
problem,
If you have a problem with alcohol, gambling, anything else, here's the hotline.
I watched a video of a guy who his wife left him, and he was all on his own, and he had $32,000 in the bank, and he pulled it all out, savings and everything.
Yeah.
And he brought it to a casino, and he went to the roulette wheel and told the doggone roulette guy, "I want to put $32,000 on black to double it."
And he recorded this?
He recorded it. Well, they recorded it, and the casino guy said, "Hey, we're telling you not to do this." And he's like, "I don't care. I want you to do it." Son of a gun walked out with $64,000.
They put it in slow motion. It's got like.
Knowing me, I'd have took the
Celine
64 and,
Dion
and
playing in
put
the
it on
background.
there again and probably lost it.
Yeah.
That would be my
Yeah, I
luck.
mean, that's just the type of person I am.
Because you get done
If
with
I can win it
That's why I
once,
stay
I can do
away.
it again.
Oh,
You know?
yeah,
man.
man.
That's
we
why I
can do
stay
it.
away from that because it's like I'm like, oh, dude,
So
just
the
double
helmet
it.
is he coaches at Alba Middle School, which is the middle school me and Dalton went to.
So that's an Alba helmet?
Yeah.
Okay.
You played Alba whenever you went to high school.
We got beat.
Wow.
Really?
Dude, we got beat by everybody, man.
Yeah, well, that bad.
If we broke 500, that was an amazing.
And you went to MGM.
Season. Yeah, we went to MGM. And we did good with our baseball team. Our baseball team went to state.
Yeah.
Several years in a row when I was there.
Oh, that's good.
But and I played both. But man, we got beat up by everybody.
Were you a
playing
better football player or a baseball player?
Probably a better baseball player. I played fullback.
Oh yeah.
And but
That seems about
Dude,
right.
tell me about your coaches, your football coaches.
yeah, man, my coaches were terrible.
Your the football ones.
Yeah, baseball coaches wasn't all that bad, but yeah, they would run us to exhaustion, wouldn't give us water breaks. I remember in August we were fully padded out, and we're running stadium laps, and we were so thirsty that there was mud holes by the football field. There were guys stopping and drinking out of that mud hole, and I wouldn't, because I was just, even though I wanted to, I mean, it looked really attractive to me.
Yeah.
There were guys sitting there drinking out of that mud hole, and when they did give us a water break, the water break was us taking our helmet off, sticking our finger in the hole that was in the center, and filling it up with water and drinking out of our helmet. That was our water break. But I didn't care. I mean, I drank 2 or 3 helmetfuls and would just, throw up afterwards because I drank too much water. But there were guys that there was a couple that actually passed out from heat strokes. They got hauled off to the hospital, and they kept going, man. They just kept us.
And they still didn't win ball.
They didn't win a single game.
I think it's because we were so run down and beat up, man, honestly.
Dude, I can't
God
figure
dang.
it out, man. Because you hear about these older guys, and our coaches, they gave us salt tablets. I'm like, dude, congratulations.
Yeah.
You think Nick Saban's giving Alabama salt tablets
You were
right now?
you were
That's making
coached
them
by
better?
an idiot.
What is this? Why do you give them a salt tablet?
To retain water,
So, I mean,
keep you
they
from
don't
getting
wanna give 'em
dehydrated.
more.
And then one of our coaches in particular, he always had a big gulp. And he would sit there while we were literally passing out, and he would drink and he'd pour some out on the ground. He would drink and he'd pour some out on the ground. And the thing about it was, this guy had been graduated maybe 4 years. He
Yeah.
was an assistant coach. Yeah. They were terrible, man.
Think about if these coaches were in today's
They were
society.
awful.
In today's
No,
society.
think if those coaches were in that time of society and would have gotten actually reported, or somebody would have came out there. I mean, they didn't went to jail.
Oh, man, I had my shoulder dislocated. This was in practice. And first time it had ever happened to me, only time it's ever happened to me. And I was running like a 32 dive from what I remember. And the linebacker knew our plays. I mean, we're playing each other. This is our team,
Yeah.
So he came through there and just he hit
dive.
He hit me on my left side, and I dropped the ball, and my arm was hanging. My arm went numb.
Disconnected.
My coach come over running at me and slapped me on the helmet. He's like, "You dropped the ball. Hold on the ball. Hold on the ball." And I couldn't pick my arm up. I was like, my shoulder. It was hanging down. He reached over there and went from behind and just snapped it back in, which I guess is great,
That's illegal.
But, dude, I have never felt so much pain in my life.
Which I guess is great.
I guess he did me a favor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
But I hit the ground like a fish,
Dude.
man. I was flopping. It was just it was so much pain, just like went all through my body. And he grabbed me by my helmet and picked me back up, and I fell back down again. He grabbed me by my helmet again and snatched me back up and wanted me to stand up and keep playing. And that's the kind of coach he was, man.
This was the head coach.
This was the head coach. This was the head coach doing this.
Well, let's go.
Is he in the Alabama High School Hall of Fame?
Let's imagine you do this in 2021.
Oh, let's do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll see you on the news. This coach down there, he grabbed my son by the helmet.
Dude, no, I'll be shot before I leave the parking lot. Somebody's dad gonna come out with a revolver.
Yeah, and on top of all that, we sucked.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse.
Yeah,
There's
So
one
honestly,
thing,
the
if
parents
you're-
probably didn't even care.
If you're
at that
they
abusing
didn't
the
know.
kids,
I mean, they didn't know.
I mean-
If they did,
and making them tough.
yeah, exactly.
if you're winning, they'll be like, "Oh well, they're
Sure.
doing what they got to do to win."
Sure, but
But when you're losing,
we never broke 500.
I mean, come on, you're losing to Alba High School.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean,
Yeah, and the worst to me was when we played Viger. That was like my worst. I dreaded the game before the game because I got beat up.
yeah.
I mean, and my offensive line was terrible. They didn't block anybody, and my quarterback was terrible. And every time we
Y'all
ran
run wing T triple option stuff.
oh my God, man!
Yeah.
Every time we ran an
Said
option,
dive.
every time we ran an option, he would hang on to the last second,
Uh-huh.
and then right before we got hit, he would let go of it,
Uh-huh.
and I would get nailed. And I
Supposed
remember
to be the other way around.
yeah. So after the games on Sundays and Mondays, because our games was on Saturday or Friday night, so all through
Yeah.
the weekend, I would, especially after we played Alba, we played Viger, and we played LaFleur and Blunt.
Yeah.
Maybe not Alba, but the other ones. I had bruises. I was black and blue from my head all the way down to my ankles, And I remember time after time the referees pulling I'd be on the bottom of the pile. My team would be standing around me, and the other team's defense would be on top of me, and I'd be on the bottom of the pile. And you know how it is when that happens. They pull your hair and they hit you under your helmet and like try to gouge your eyes out.
Junk is what they do.
They do that too, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened to me a lot.
Yeah, so football was pretty pretty miserable at times when we played those teams in high school.
What position did you play in baseball?
Pitcher and catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Two good positions. You a good pitcher?
I was all right. I got a scholarship pitching.
Oh, really?
Went to University of Mobile and went to Bishop and Mobile, actually. Pitching. Yeah. So
Did you play for Mike Jacobs then? Or was that before him?
No, I think that was before him.
It would have been right before
Yeah, it
him.
was right before him.
Gotcha.
But yes, I wasn't wonderful, but I was good enough to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
And football wise, y'all remember Ralph Staten?
No.
He played for Alabama. He was a quarterback for Alabama. He went to the Baltimore Ravens, and but yeah, he played when I played. He was like the best player we had. Obviously, he was really good.
Yeah.
But he was a standout for us. But other than that, you had to really be something to get anywhere playing football.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
Yeah. Which you do now. I mean, you got to be really something to go anywhere playing football.
But I'll tell you that I agree. But there's so many options now for these kids, man. It's podunk old colleges somewhere that just started their program.
It is 100%, man.
And you got these kids that barely played snaps or were terrible. They're like, oh, I'm signing a scholarship over here, and it's like, oh,
yeah. And there were several guys that I played football with that went to 2-year colleges.
Yeah.
And played a couple of them in Mississippi, and they went and played junior college football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like football enough to do that.
Yeah.
But
now
maybe I could have walked on or something. But
Yeah.
There's
you didn't have a very good experience to base it off of.
No,
I mean, honestly.
for sure.
They all
100%.
want to be on signing day with their hats and whatever bullcrap because they want to be like all the other kids. But it's like, dude, you got Birmingham Southern, Huntingdon University, and Miles College. Okay,
Mhm.
they're sitting in Alabama, Auburn, LSU.
No doubt.
And secondly, you're signing an academic scholarship. This is not a sports scholarship.
Right.
You don't get to put a hat on and sign your paper and be like, "Hey, Twitter, I'm officially going to Miles
It's all
College."
about social media. And
It's
let me
all
tell you
about them
something.
looking cool and posting on Snapchat.
Sure.
It's
That's
really,
terrible.
it really don't have. This didn't come from them. This came from their parents.
Yeah.
Their parents are the ones that are really wanting to be seen. Hey, this is my son.
Which is
so
sad. It's sad.
by acting like that, they've
'Cause they're still
naturally
paying
embedded
money.
that into
and you know,
their
every parent's gonna be like,
child.
"Oh, their school's getting paid for." No, they could go over here and not play football
Right.
and not play sports, and their college is paid for. But you want to go over here? Well, it's only 20,000, whatever bull crap, because you want them to keep playing football because you didn't get to play college.
You want
football.
they're wanting to live through
Let's
their
be
children.
honest here.
They're wanting to live through their
Yeah.
And they're the
children.
same dads.
Well, they
want
wanna
to
post it on
Friday
Facebook.
nights screaming and yelling at the coach because he's not doing what they want to do or their kid's not playing.
Yeah, man.
Same dads who
Yeah.
wasted their life away and now want to live and give every coach a hard time and act like their child is
There is.
a superstar.
in
And that's
the-
more common than not.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, in the 5 years I've been
Baseball,
coaching.
football, basketball, whatever sports you find.
Yeah.
Softball, girls softball.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
5 years I've been coaching, I can never end the season and say I was miserable because of these players and I had a bad time. I can, however, say that I was miserable, stressed out, anxious, on the verge of quitting because of freaking parents.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to get very passionate about this, parents need to get out of their child's business. Let them do it. Let them go to school. Let them be coached. And you need to shut your mouth.
Mhm.
Because there's people
I agree.
that are giving time and effort and
Not getting
countless
paid enough.
energy,
Not getting paid.
getting
enough.
paid $1,600 for the whole year, and they don't get paid $1,600 a year. That is not enough for them to get cussed out by your stupid self and to be disrespected and to be treated like crap. And that you're taking people who have good potential in coaches, and you're completely killing the whole reason that they decide
Turning
to
them
do it.
off again, turning them
Yeah.
away.
And
Maybe
turning them
one.
against
negatively
coaches.
affecting.
Made me want to quit, dude.
There's kids that need parent figures in their life,
Mhm.
but these coaches are so discouraged from what you've been doing to them that they can't pour into these kids that need a positive influence.
Yeah, and you know what's
Let's
what's
think
crazy
about what we're
is
doing it for the kids.
it's bad in summer league and
Yeah.
and these other ones, and it's even way worse in school, the high school.
Yep.
It's even way worse
Yeah.
in school.
They play sport. They play year round.
Yeah, travel leagues, summer leagues, all
Yeah.
these other sports. It's ruining school sports.
Yeah,
It's ruining.
And they're all experts.
Yes,
sure.
They're all experts.
Yeah.
So
I've never met a dad. Sorry to cut you off. I've never met a dad, mom, whatever. You can find it: basketball, baseball, football. I've never met a dad who was yelling at me about something that actually looked like he played football and was good at it.
Well, they're armchair. They're armchair, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Armchair coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, they're mad at Nick Saban for not running the ball more.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Nick Saban just got a 3-year contract.
And that's every sport, man. You get around people and they everybody's an expert. Whatever sport that they like to
they're
watch,
they're an
expert
in it. But are they going to put forth the work behind the scenes
that the coaches
game plan, the hours that you put into it?
No.
I mean, I was out there today in 100-degree weather, scooping dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm over here pouring my time in that I could be spending my wife to spend with your doggone kid. To help them and to treat them to be a better young man. And you're coming up to me after the game cussing me out and saying you could do a better job. Come do a better job.
Yeah. Because quit your day job and get your teaching certification.
Yeah. Well, that's like I was saying, even with Summer League, my dad was a baseball coach, and I remember, and this isn't even school ball. This is like summer ball. These parents coming up to him after the game, just getting all over him because he didn't play their kids enough, or he only played them a couple of innings, or and this is he's not getting paid to coach. He ain't even getting paid to begin with. So those particular parents, when it comes to school ball, they're a lot worse.
Oh yeah,
they're a lot worse. If they act that way in summer league, just think about how much worse they are with you guys.
Well, school ball, not everybody plays.
That's right. You got to be good enough to get.
You're not promised
to make the team.
You're not
especially in baseball and basketball. You can't keep 100 kids. You can't do it. Or you're gonna sit you're gonna sit the whole time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Football, so if you choose to do that, that's what happens. You sit the bench.
In football, I can stick you out there. I can find something for you to do. I mean, I'll put you on the other side. I know to throw the ball this way. I'll put you over there.
Right.
But basketball, baseball, you didn't make the team. If you didn't make the team, you're still not promised playing.
And if you did make the team, if you're not good enough to be a starter, you're just not.
You cannot tell someone today in the year 2021 that their son or daughter is not good enough to play.
No doubt, man.
And if you're not winning, that makes it even worse, because if you're not winning,
they claim
their child is the solution to that problem.
Yep.
If y'all win, if y'all put my child in the game.
The reason why you aren't winning is because my son's not playing.
And we're in a lose-lose situation, because what can I do? I'm not going to let them come to practice.
Yeah.
I mean, because then they're going to critique every little thing. So, but if they could see practice, they would understand.
Man, I wouldn't be in y'all's position for nothing, dude.
But I will think about though, because
you've had a lot of conversations.
Kind of changing the subject, because we talk about Bob and how he's our coach MMA wise and jiu-jitsu wise.
Yeah.
Think about these couch sitters watching these UFC events. They're like, well, if he were just full guard.
Hey, I had to stop watching UFC events and MMA events with my friends that don't train.
Yeah.
I literally had to stop doing it
because they don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know what you're talking about, and especially when they drink and everything, and they're getting all rowdy and like, I do this and I can do that. And I'm just like, you have no idea, man.
If you had a grown man lay on top of you, you would understand. You can't. Oh, just get up.
Yeah, why don't he just stand up?
Why don't he just get up? Yeah. I want you to try it.
Let me show you.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Let's go out in the front yard real quick. I'll show you.
So I can hold you down for 24 hours.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
I'll fall asleep right here if you want me to.
Yeah.
And look how much energy you're using and how much.
And it's the same way with football, basketball.
Yep.
You sit there and you watch a football game with guys that's never played football.
They don't know.
He sucks. Blah, blah, blah,
he's terrible.
I could do better than that. No, you couldn't, man.
Why ain't they running the ball? Why ain't they throwing the ball more? Shut up.
I've gotten to where, honestly, I can't watch sporting events with people like that.
I like to watch everything by myself.
It stresses me out, man.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't stand hearing somebody.
Are you an Auburn guy? Didn't you say you're an Auburn fan?
Yeah. But I like Auburn and Alabama.
You like both of them, but you're not a huge college football fan.
I don't get passionate. I don't. Yeah. It doesn't bother me either way.
I remember you telling us last time, like, you stopped watching around people that were so passionate about it.
I can't. It stresses me out, man. It stresses me out.
My brother-in-law
gets upset.
Oh yeah.
When he's watching Alabama, if Alabama messes up, he literally physically gets upset, and it bothers him a lot. And he'll actually. The first time I watched an Alabama football game with him, he got up in the middle of the game and left and went home. I thought he went to the bathroom. I was like, where'd Brad go?
Oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy.
He gets so upset about it. He's real passionate about it.
It happens.
It does, man. And
the older I get, the less I get crazy about it. Because I'm like, these kids, I coach kids this age, you know?
Some people, man, it bothers them.
This kid, I coached a kid the same age as him last year.
People are just so irrational.
And the kid who's 18 years old just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Why am I jumping up and down? A grown man jumping up and down, screaming, and yelling. What? I can't believe you dropped the ball. Oh, this is a kid.
I used to work with a guy that was an Auburn fan, so I'm sure he still is an Auburn fan. Based on his work week was based on whether
you told us about this.
Auburn lost or not. If Auburn lost, you knew it.
Oh.
Everybody knew it that was around him the whole time he was working until the next week that they played. And he Auburn all over his truck, Auburn this, Auburn that, Auburn clothes all the time. And you know what's funny is I don't think he ever played football.
Yeah,
Even
that's
I don't
a
think
lot
he ever
of them,
played.
dude.
Which I get it. You know, you can't have sports without fans. There would be no sport without fans. There just wouldn't.
That's why 2020 was so depressing for me.
Because there wasn't any fans.
And then there wasn't any fans in the sports. I watched
so much
dude,
worse.
baseball was terrible with fake fans.
You could hear everything they're saying. I mean,
What's this thing with I saw the other night, my wife, when I came home, she had something on that had wrestling on. There was monitors with people on the monitors in the stands.
Wrestling hasn't went back to people.
No.
I mean,
they're using...
Is that real monitors of real fans watching?
Real people sitting there watching.
Yep.
It's craziness.
How do they do that?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
WWE's terrible.
Is that like Zoom or something? That
Probably.
You got people watching from...
Probably.
WWE has completely went downhill. I mean, I hate
To be honest with you, I hate to admit it, but I used to watch it some.
I did too.
Dude, we loved it when we were kids.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was a John Cena fan.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Is there,
Randy Orton.
I mean,
You watched it the same time we did.
Yeah.
early 2000s leading up to about 2011. This is the best time.
Dude, me and Dalton were crazy about that.
I mean, I never thought it was real, but it was fun to watch because it was like watching a show.
The way John Cena
it's-
sold things. John
Oh,
Cena's
man.
the best actor. Him and The Rock probably, which was rather successful actor.
Right.
The way they talked on the mics
Yeah.
was. I mean, John Cena had you fired up, ready to go.
They
fight
made it
somebody.
interesting. They really made it interesting.
I watched the 30-30 on Ric Flair. By the way, that son of a gun's 76 years old, and he's still
doing it. He's still doing his act.
Bro, he said he went to the psychiatrist, and he was talking to the psychiatrist, and he said, so how often do you drink? He said, I drink every day. He said, how often? All day. He said, how
Alcohol?
Yeah, alcohol. He's like, yeah, Sunday through Saturday, I'm drinking. He's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, how long you been doing this? 18 years. The psychiatrist said, there's no way you've been drinking every single day, 7 days a week
He's
for
still
18
alive?
years. He did. He still does.
Yeah.
That son of a gun went to the hospital, almost died at 74.
Oh yeah.
And I just read
I thought he was going to die.
I read an article the other day, 76 now, or somewhere in that age, and he said, yeah, I drink again. I drink more now. He's supposed to quit, but it almost killed him. But that's why I was getting
Guess
to.
he's lived
Ric
his
Flair
best
said,
life.
Genetics, man.
he said,
Exactly.
and this is very important because I get mad at people when they say that wrestling's fake.
Mm.
WWE is not fake.
It's real athletes.
It's staged.
It's right.
They
There's a
actually
difference.
hit each other.
There's a difference.
They actually jump on top of each other.
Sure.
You can't fake a chair hitting you in the head.
Right.
You can't. Now, is there a certain way you can do it where you don't kill somebody?
Sure.
Yeah, but they actually
Or
get
thinner material and stuff like that.
Roddy Piper. He somebody asked him that one time in an interview. That some guy got fuming mad.
Is that
How
the guy
can
that
you-
slapped the reporter, or is that another wrestler?
I don't
How
know.
can you fake The Undertaker dropping Mick Foley off the top of
You
a
can't
20-foot
fake that.
cage
Oh, it ain't
twice
fake.
in a row?
It ain't faked. It's
Is it
dropping-
predetermined? It
Yeah.
is predetermined.
There's
But
a difference though between staged and
Yeah.
faked.
it's,
and then
it's definitely staged.
Dropping him on thumbtacks. How can you fake
You
that?
can't.
Yeah.
It's
can't fake
it's
it.
all real. I mean, the blood's
You
real.
can't fake blood. Not
I mean, there's a
actual
way they
seeing
can do
cuts.
it. They can
They
fall a
cut their-
certain way. They're trained
Yeah.
professionals. They can fall a certain way where it doesn't hurt them,
Yeah.
or it doesn't kill them. It hurts them, but I
It
mean,
all hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
They're
And when they
athletes.
get
man.
injured
They are athletes for
badly.
Sure.
I mean, you can't. I mean, what about Bret Hart? I mean, what he fell from the
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart fell
Yeah.
from the.
Yeah, from the top of the building.
You know,
from
so
the-
it's like you got these guys that break their necks and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, they made a mistake. I mean, they didn't fall the way that they were supposed to. They don't just think, hey, I'm gonna go climb up this ladder now. No, they know what they're doing.
They're definitely good. They're definitely athletes,
Yeah,
and
they gotta be.
But it is predetermined. But some of that stuff you can't fake. I
No.
mean, it is what it is.
That's my point. They
Yeah.
literally get hurt.
Sure they
and
do.
that's why they get so mad when people say it's fake, because they have injuries to show it. They've all had dozens of surgeries.
right.
And that's what Roddy Piper, he stood up, he's like, you call this fake? He had a
A
fake
better
hip.
word probably would be staged.
That's what
or
that's
predetermined.
That's what Ric Flair said. He's like, you can't sit here and tell me that stuff was fake, because look at me right now, I can hardly walk.
Right.
You know, and
So that's a better choice of words for sure.
It is predetermined. It's staged, but that's the majority. That's it. I mean, there's nothing more to it. But I used to love that stuff, man. Me and Dalton used to, when we were kids, we used to love it.
How many people did you do that to when you were growing up?
Me and him would always do
I bet y'all
WWE
bullied
moves.
everybody, man. Y'all probably bigger than
We used to
everybody.
do it to each other.
We didn't bully people. No.
We can make people think we're actually fighting. We used to be in the football locker room hitting each other with chairs and stuff.
I seen y'all get after it in the gym, man. Sparring, y'all get after it.
Oh, with each other? That's
Yeah.
it. But nah, we don't bully people. But I never did. I actually got voted nicest in middle school when I was in middle school. Nicest person.
I did not get nicest in middle school.
He did not. So
Was you the bully of the two?
No, we never really bullied people.
they say that he's
But I was
meaner than me.
meaner.
Just meaner?
Yeah.
Besides, it wasn't as social.
Well, I have heard you say in the gym that you wouldn't hit Dalton in the face, but he would hit you in the face. So it sounded like me like you were the meaner one.
Yeah, I wouldn't hit him. He would hit me. Yeah, but he would get mad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get as mad as he does.
I
Yes,
don't get mad like I used to.
Both of y'all have tried to hit me.
Yeah. Doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
You've hit me plenty of times. You've hit me way more than I've hit
We
you.
would get after it with those MMA gloves on, man. I think we were both.
Me and Jason
Well,
Breedlove did probably 15
I did
3-minute
one day.
rounds.
Yeah, we did
about
too.
10.
MMA Friday. That's what we call it.
No
We'll
pads.
We'll probably do it tomorrow.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Got PTSD in my shins.
Probably do it tomorrow. I need to
Yeah.
get in there, but
Taking a
like I
heel to
said,
my
I
shin.
tore my knee up.
I
was
got
trying-
PTSD in my side from that side kick you kicked me with in the ribs.
Which
That
one?
100-pound leg you
Oh
got.
yeah,
Yeah.
I made somebody else mad too. We'll leave it nameless. but I
It
don't
didn't make me
know.
mad, but I tell you what, it sharpened my defense up. I was like,
Oh, that's every time.
I'm going to start making sure that I don't get hit with that.
That's what sharpened my defense up on those leg kicks. You throwing those leg kicks all the time. I never checked leg kicks
Yeah, I
until you
didn't
started
either.
hitting me with them.
Because it's-
With no pads
With
on.
no pads on it,
Yeah,
it
it
makes a
was
big
bad.
difference.
It was
You
really
learn.
bad.
Yeah, that's what happened to. I think that's what contributed to Connor losing, him getting his calf kicked.
He wasn't used to that,
against
was
Dustin.
he? He's never really. And all of his throws really came off his back leg, but he had to have that front leg to plan on.
Right.
So if you take that away, he's just throwing off that back leg.
I think that's what Dustin did.
Yeah.
He kicked him several times.
That's
in the
very
front
true.
leg.
If you look at the way he strides every time he throws, like
Yeah.
when he throws power punches, he strides big time.
Yeah, he
Because he
does.
starts in that with that big Muay Thai stance,
Right.
and he really throws it. So if you don't have a front leg to push on,
So I think if he worked on checking that kick, Dustin probably would have a pretty hard time with him.
Conor McGregor's
So we'll
never
see.
really had to worry about getting kicked.
It's
in
coming
the ring.
up. It's coming up soon.
July.
We'll see it again.
That would be a good one, man.
Saw Max Holloway had to pull out today.
Really?
Yeah, he was going to
He
fight.
get injured?
Yeah, injury, undisclosed injury. How long we been going, Jacob?
Hour and a half.
All right, I think that'll be it. I think we'll call it a night on that one.
Yeah,
Hour
I'm
and a half.
hungry.
Yep.
You ready to eat?
Yep.
I am.
SteinCast, first episode back. We've made a reunion. We've gotten back together with our friend Jason Breedlove. He's one of the coolest guys in the world, and I couldn't think of a better guest to restart the show back. So, good night, everybody. I hope you have a great night.
Forever.
I appreciate you guys having me back, man.
Yes,
This
sir.
has been awesome.
Hey, love you, Jason.
Love y'all, bro.
It's been good.
See ya. All right, y'all ready to record?